Okay. Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar presented by the Georgia State University Alumni Association. Today's presentation is titled Pursuit of Fulfillment. Our guest presenter, Jade Chapman. He's a Georgia State alum, MS class of 2016. I'm Dave Cohen. I'm coming to you from the Alumni Center here at Georgia State University in downtown Atlanta. Quick reminder to visit our website at pantheralumni.com to download and also to download the GSU Alumni mobile app to your iPhone or your iPad to keep up with the latest events offered by the Georgia State Alumni Association. Looking forward to today's presentation. Right now, I'd like to welcome our guest speaker, Georgia State alumnus, Jade Chapman. Jade?
Thank you so much for having me, Dave. It's always a pleasure to come home to Georgia State and share with my fellow Panthers. So let me make my screen full here and we'll dive right in. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the pursuit of fulfillment. We're going to dig into some tips and strategies on how you can align your career with your purpose and passion. Okay, so today we'll talk about a couple of causes of unfulfillment. We'll talk about how you can discover your sweet spot because that's where fulfillment is. And then I'll talk about how to launch a career marketing campaign to help you get to that sweet spot where you'll feel more aligned. And then we'll talk about a little exercise that's been really helpful to me along my journey to find fulfillment, which is writing a life purpose statement. Okay? So just to share a little bit about myself, my background is electrical engineering and computer science. I got my master's at Georgia State in information systems. And my career journey has been my own personal pursuit of fulfillment. As you can see, I have tried all types of things. I've pivoted from all types of industries, from defense to energy. I've worked in nonprofit. I've spent some time overseas in Australia. Um, I've worked in um, I've worked in healthcare. I'm an adjunct professor where I teach computer science classes at Atlanta Tech, and I've worked in city government as well. And, as I mentioned, it's all been a journey of just trying to figure out how I can align my career with my passion. And so, and I, throughout this journey, I always tell people I consider myself to be the master of finding a job. And so, I use those skills as a career coach to help people find jobs and align their career with their passion. So that's who I am. And so let's just jump right in. So there's a worksheet that goes along with some of the content. And you can use this QR code to get the slides in that worksheet. I'll show this page again just in case you didn't catch it, um, so that you can get the slides in the worksheets to help you kind of dig into this content a little bit more after I complete this session. Okay, so let's talk about what is fulfillment. So for me, I have a belief that we were all created for some purpose, and true fulfillment is when you feel like the life that you live, whether it's through your career or just other areas of your life, you feel fulfilled, you feel full, you feel like your life is purposeful. So I found a couple of quotes that reference fulfillment, and I just want to explore them with you today. So first is Tony Robbins. He says that success without fulfillment is an ultimate failure. I think that's a strong statement because I think we all define success differently. You may define success as your monetary measure, your monetary or material possessions. But I'm assuming that Tony is saying that he defines success as fulfillment. And if he isn't feeling fulfilled, then he's feeling failure. And I can relate to that feeling as well. This is today we'll talk about how do we work our way out of that feeling. Another quote is life is more meaningful when the goal is fulfillment rather than gratification. Some people feel that it's not about instant gratification or having things or having money or having power or influence. It's about defining what fulfillment feels and going after that. And so then Marcus Aurelius says every living organism is fulfilled when it follows the right path for its own nature. But I think the key to here is understanding and owning what your own nature is. And once you understand that, then you follow that path and just go with the flow. So just a few thoughts as we all explore what fulfillment means to us. Okay? So why are we unfulfilled? These are just a couple of reasons that I've seen from myself and from my clients is that sometimes we're just misaligned. Sometimes the work you do is just not aligned with what you're good at or the things that you're interested in, and you just need to figure out how to realign yourself. You might be in the wrong industry, you may be working with a product that you're not passionate about, or the skills are just not a good fit. You're just not good at what they're asking you to do every day, and that can cause unfulfillment. Another thing that I think is may lead you to believe that you're unfulfilled is that a lot of people are just overworked and burned out. They don't practice self-care, they don't set boundaries around in their workspace. Excuse me, and I've experienced that where I left the job because I was just burnt out. And then once I left the job and I got some rest, I realized I missed the job because I liked the work. I just wasn't setting boundaries. So there's some cases where we actually are in a good space. We just need to work on how to put boundaries around our work load. And then also, I also had to do a little bit more work on the understanding why was I overworking myself, and it was because I was trying to prove myself. I was trying to prove that I was good enough. And a lot of times, we may not realize that we're trying to prove that we're not good enough because we may have some wounds that we may carry from our childhood. We don't realize that that's manifesting itself in our career. So there could be a lot of different things going on that may mask itself as unfulfillment, but it may just be some work we may need to do within ourselves. Next is just lack of balance outside of work, not practicing self-care, not doing other things that bring you joy outside of work. I always try to look at my life as a pizza, and there are different slices. And there's a time in my life where my slice, my works was the biggest slice of my pizza. And now I try to create more balance where I also have family time. I also have time with my friends. I also have community service. I also have, hobbies. And I also have self care that evens out my piece of pie, the piece of my pie. And so when you create that balance, you can find that you feel more fulfilled. Okay. So next, let's talk about the sweet spot. It is where fulfillment is, and it is where your gifts, your passion, and your skills intersect. And if you can find that space, then you can find it can lead you to fulfillment. So we're gonna explore all three of those things today: gifts, passion, and skill. We're gonna do it inventory. Okay, so the first thing is, really tapping into what your gifts are. And I found that even with myself, these gifts, we kind of overlook them because they're things that come so easy to us. And we assume that everybody else is good at them. But everybody is not good at them. You are just good at them because it's your special gift, it's your natural talent. I personally believe that God created us all to solve some problem or to make this world a better place, and because he created us for that purpose, he sent us here with these gifts. And so we have to figure out how to tap into these gifts. Now, you can't even learn these gifts at school. You can hone them through school, but you can't learn them. So these are something that's just naturally innate. It's just who you are. It's just things that come easy to you. And it's usually that thing when people are always coming and say, "Hey, let me pick your brain about something," or "Hey, can you help me with this thing?" People are always coming to you, asking you for help with this thing because it's your gift. And if you dig into your childhood a little bit, think about that thing that made you weird, the thing that kids picked on you for. That may be an indicator of what your gift is. So think about those things. Next, you want to think about, what are you truly passionate about? What do you like doing in your spare time? Or what's something that you would do for other people for free because you just enjoy doing it and it doesn't bother you? You enjoy doing it. What do think about what you're passionate about? Like what's going on in the world that you really want to change? When you hear about it, it just, makes you feel some type of emotion, whether it's empathy or sympathy or sadness, like what brings you emotion is usually an indicator of something that you're passionate about. And I added this social media gangster, like what brings out your social media gangster? And I put this because I was on Next Door a couple of months ago and somebody was talking about going and calling the police on a homeless person because they were standing outside of a Family Dollar. I was just so pissed because I'm like, why would you call the police? It's not a crime, And so I was just typing, sending links and quotes and data and all kind of stuff. And I realized it was because I was passionate about that topic. So what's that thing when you're on social media and people are talking about it and you join the conversation and you're passionate about, the topic? That's usually an indication that you are passionate about it. So next, you want to do a skills inventory. What are your skills? So Sydney Fine says there are types of skills. First are your transferable skills, which are so important during this time of exploration because these skills can take you from one industry to the next. You can carry them with you. And so these transferable skills tell you what you can do with data, people, or things. And so, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you can do these things. So are you creating something, researching, painting, analyzing, teaching? These are skills that, like I said, are portable from one industry to the next. Next, think about what are your special knowledges? What do you know about? Do you know about math? Do you know about justice reform? Do you know about Spanish? What are your special knowledges? And then think about your self management skills or your traits, which tell you, how do you conduct yourself when you're alone or you're with others. And here's in each of these have a list of words that can kind of help you think through. Are you persistent? Are you resourceful? Are you innovative? Who are you? What are these special gifts, and how do you describe them? Okay. So finally, now that you have identified, and like I said, you can get that workbook that can kind of help you spend a little bit more time thinking about each of these. But once you identify your skills, your passion, and your gifts, your special gifts, you want to think about, what type of companies can you map those items into? Do you want to work for a startup? Do you want to work for a big corporation? What type of industry do you want to work? Is your sweet spot in healthcare? Is your sweet like what industry is your sweet spot in? And then think about what types of products do you want to work with. One of the things I mentioned, I work for a missile company, and I realized that it wasn't aligned with my values because I didn't even believe in war. So here I am working on a product that isn't aligned with who I am. And so you want to think about what type of products can you relate to? What type of products are you passionate about? What type of products do you believe making the society a better place? Or just whatever is important. You think about it from a product perspective. And then after you look at all these things and you find that there's no company, there's no industry, or there's no product out there that you're passionate about, maybe you need to take the entrepreneurial route. Maybe you need to start your own business. So that's something to consider as you do this inventory. And then finally, once you have figured those things out, you understand where you belong, you want to launch a career marketing campaign. I had a LinkedIn certification coach who said it's not just a job search, it's a career marketing campaign. When you think about a marketing campaign, excuse me, you have to create a brand, you have to create a strategy, you need to know your audience. And so you have to be very thoughtful about how you present yourself so that you can land a job in your sweet spot. So you want to think about your network. Um, who do you know who work in these companies that you're interested in that you could reach out to and can push your resume to the top? How do you write? How do you create a resume that strategically presents, your skills and your passion? How do you create a LinkedIn profile so that it will drive recruiters to your inbox? Um, how do you present yourself in an interview? How do you tell your career journey? And how do you make sure that passion that you have and those skills really come out of the responses in your interview? You want to be really thoughtful about that. And one of the things that I really encourage my clients to create is a portfolio that um, really helps them highlight their skills and what they bring to the table because most people only just bring a resume. And so I help my clients create portfolios. And then what's one of the most important things to me is that no matter how passionate I am about something, I know my value and I got to get my coins. So we need to be very thoughtful about how we arrive at that value that we have, that we assign ourselves, and how we negotiate it through salary negotiations. So it's all about creating this career marketing campaign so that once you have really identified where you want to be, this is how it's going to get you there. So these are all the things that I help my clients think through. So finally, I wanted to share with you the life purpose statement that's been really helpful for me to really put words to my emotions and my feelings and my desires of my life. And so there are two parts of it here. As you can see in the blue, this is called the essence. This captures the essence of who I am. This doesn't change over time. You are pretty much who you are. Because of a lot of different things that go into making you who you are, most of us are pretty consistent from a period of time. So this essence just kind of stays the same. Um, Here, my essence is to empower people to live well physically, mentally, and vocationally. If you ask anybody who knows me, they'll agree that, yep, that's Jay's thing. She's always talking to people about living well. And so that's the essence of who I am. Okay, so then the second part of it is how do I express that essence? And so let me take a pause and say that I had a really good mentor of mine tell me that everybody isn't meant to express their purpose through their vocation. And I had to sit there because we're all taught that like our job should be where we get our fulfillment from. So I had to really sit with that thought, and she helped me realize that it doesn't have to like I talked about the piece of the puzzle. That's just the job is just one piece. There are other areas of your life that you can still express the essence and purpose of who you are in other areas of your life to create fulfillment. And so the rest of the rest of this statement talks about how I plan to express the essence of who I am in other areas of my life. And so the first part of it is through working as a career coach, helping people find work that feels purposeful. So that's a way that I plan to express the essence of who I am. Next piece of it is preparing students for the workplace as an adjunct professor. So this is another area of my life where I'm still able to show up in my purpose. And then I said I'm serving on the board of the Atlanta Birth Center. That's another area of my life where I'm able to show up in my purpose and my skills and my passion, and my special title and my special talents. And then finally, in supporting my daughter Nova along her journey to living a purpose-driven life. And so this is now I'm at home with my daughter, and I'm able to express myself in the essence of who I am. And so I just really want you to encourage you all that yes, our careers are a piece of our puzzle where we can express the essence of who we are, but we can also do that in other areas of our lives. And I have found for myself when I'm doing that in other areas of my life, in addition to in my career, that I have a more fulfilling life. Okay? So I encourage you all to create a life purpose statement. Okay, so that's it. That's all I have for you all today. I would love to stay connected with you all. Please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram at Jade M. Chapman. I have a speaker's website, and I have my coaching website is jademchapman.com, and you can always email me at info@jademchapman.com. And so I'll go back. I'll let you all take a little quick screenshot if you'd like to of this page, but I'll go back so that you all can grab this QR code so that you can get the worksheets and the slides. And you'll also get an email with a link if you'd like to sign up for a free career breakthrough session so that we can talk a little bit more about what we talked about today or anything related to the career marketing campaign if you're interested in learning that. Okay, so that's all I have for you all. I hope this was helpful for you.
Jade, once again, a fantastic presentation. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep, we did have one comment coming in from Sonia, and she did want you to share that QR code, so we'll leave that on the screen here for a minute. What challenges do you find with regards to the subtitle of work-life balance, in that everybody was pre-COVID-19 virus working in their jobs and, navigating their life on a daily basis. And then it all stopped on a dime for many people. And now, as there is a light at the end of the tunnel with regards to the virus, people now facing the challenge of either having to go back to work in somewhat of a similar situation that they were in before the virus, as opposed to the life that they have been living, hopefully working remotely during the last little over a year. And some companies are wanting to try to go back to what it was, and you've got a little bit of a workforce that maybe doesn't want to go back to what it was.
It's going to be a very interesting transition, but for myself, and I'm actually transitioning into a new role in a couple of weeks, and when I get there, I will be setting boundaries. I will be like, when I get there, my needs will not change. My self-care needs will not change, and so I'm just going to be committed to incorporating those self-care needs that I had before COVID, during COVID. Whether that means I'm getting up from my desk at lunchtime and I'm going for a walk, or I'm making time to work out. One of the things that I incorporated during COVID was I had to schedule my day hour by hour, because when we're not in the office, things kind of got a little loosey goosey, right? And so I schedule my day hour by hour, including breaks to stand up and take a walk, including time to meditate, including really making sure I'm leaving my desk for lunch. And so I just think we just have to be intentional about, really being honest about what we need and incorporating that into our days.
The alumni office, prior to the virus and throughout the last year, has been offering virtual resume reviews and been very, very popular. And by the way, if anybody watching our webinar this afternoon is interested in having a virtual resume review, you can contact me here at the Alumni Association at dcohen, DCOHEN @gsu.edu. and I can get you set up. We have HR volunteers that have been working with me prior to the virus and during the virus for Georgia State alumni. But you mentioned resumes. Could you just touch on that again for those folks that are watching, the importance of the resume and how that can help with, the work-life balance and the pursuit of fulfillment?
Yeah, so I think the key to having a successful resume is surrendering to the fact that you have to create a new resume every time you apply for a new job. I have people who will sit at their computer an hour a day and apply to 20 jobs a day with the same resume, and then they wonder why they're not getting hits. And it's because of the way that recruiters work these days. To be more efficient is that, they use softwares that are searching for certain keywords. And if you're not intentional and thoughtful about incorporating those keywords into your resume each time you apply for a job, then your resume probably won't get selected. And so, that's just something to really be mindful of. Every time you apply, is your resume incorporating those keywords if it's relevant to your experience? And if not, be prepared for your resume to end up in the black hole.
During the interview process that one may find themselves in, what is your suggestion with regards to, for example, at the end of an interview, normally they will say, well, do you have any questions for us about approaching and broaching the subject of work-life balance in an interview?
Yeah, I mean, I always ask, what is the day to day, like what is a day in a life in this role? And that response will usually give you an indicator of what the expectations are. Another thing I like to ask too is, if it's a hiring manager that's interviewing me, I like to know about their management skills. That question tends to throw people off. And you rarely will have someone admit to being a micromanager, but that's really what I'm looking for. I'm trying to understand, what their expectations are and how they lead, to see if that's a good fit. Because if it's not, then I recognize that I wouldn't be successful in a role where someone's micromanaging and when someone's expecting me to be glued to my computer. So I think it's perfectly okay to decide like these are your requirements as an employee, and to hold your ground with that as you're looking for a job.
Okay. And lastly, if you could go back to the slide with all of your contact information, we'll put that up there as we wrap things up.
Okay, let me get to it. There we go.
Okay, so if anybody would like to go with us.
Oh, you froze for a while. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last thing you said.
That's fine. I think the entire broadcast webinar froze for a minute. Once again, anybody that would like to reach out and connect with you can do so via LinkedIn, your Instagram, your website, or your email.
Yes, thank you. I look forward to hearing from you all.
And once again, I appreciate it, Jade. Fantastic presentation, great information, and I look forward to you and I hosting one again sometime here in the near future.
Yes, just let me know. I'll be here.
Okay. Also, again, just a reminder, if you are in need of a resume review, the Alumni Association is offering free free virtual resume reviews. We're not sure if and when we'll be back to in-person like we were before the virus, but you can reach me here in the Alumni Center. My email is dcohen, DCOHEN, @gsu.edu, and we can get you set up with one of our HR volunteers. So that'll do it for our webinar presentation today. As always, we invite you to visit us online at pantheralumni.com. Those of you that most of your work off your iPhone or your iPad, there is a free Georgia State Alumni mobile app. You can get that in the App Store. It also includes a tile to our calendar of events that you can keep up with what's going on and being offered by the Alumni Association. Jade, enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to hosting another webinar with you real soon.
You too. Thank you.
All right, for our guest presenter today, Georgia State alumna Jade Chapman, class of 2016. I'm Dave Cohen, coming to you from the Alumni Center at Georgia State in Atlanta. Thanks for listening, and as always, go Panthers.